Okay, I think we are about ready to go. Welcome everyone to today's session. Live digital marketing workshop from Exposure Ninja. My name's Tim, I'm head ninja here. And today's session going to be slightly different. We are approaching, well in marketing terms, we're basically next door to Black Friday. So we're recording this in September. And with the marketing calendar, you really do have to be on the ball. You really do have to get these things kind of prepped ahead of time. And we are now in the period where you absolutely need to be prepping for Black Friday, not only building out ad promos, but also thinking about what your organic approach is going to look like and designing your kind of overall marketing strategy for Black Friday. So I've got some notes here, so I'm going to be referring to the iPad throughout just because I don't want to kind of miss anything. But I also wanted to talk about the Simon, welcome from the dirty old goat corn barn. I've been, I was going to say I've been there many times myself. I feel like I've been in there. Nah, never mind. I wanted to talk about businesses that aren't typically Black Friday businesses, because obviously Black Friday has a reputation of being a purely kind of e-commerce and retail event. And those of us who are service companies or B2B or whatever might feel a little bit left out by Black Friday. But it doesn't have to be like this, because actually I want to kind of encourage you to, as we're looking through the examples today, all of which, by the way, are going to be retail. I don't want you to be thinking, yeah, but I'm not retail, this doesn't apply for me. I want you to be thinking, how can I use this? How can I tap into this ridiculous hype? Because the herd mentality is one of mankind's biggest, I guess, flaws. But as marketers, obviously, it's our job to just ruthlessly exploit herd mentality and make sure we get absolutely everything we possibly can out of these people. So that is the attitude that we have to take with Black Friday. Obviously not so cynical as that, but we have to take an attitude of what can we do to capitalize on this opportunity. So even if you're B2B, even if you're e-commerce, if you're service company rather than e-commerce, I want you to be looking at these examples and thinking, how can I use this? So whether we're looking at Next labeling its clearance section as Black Friday and dumping old stock that has very little value to it, right? How can you use that? What are the services that you offer? What are the things that you have lying around which have very low perceived value to you, but potentially high perceived value to your audience, which you could offer at a steep discount? Or whether we're looking at Amazon and how it tends to sell, it tends to prioritize its kind of gateway purchases, things like Alexa and Fire tablets, which are going to lead to more Amazon purchases, and it'll heavily discount these. Well, it's kind of a deal, but also you're just kind of giving people a way of buying more stuff from Amazon. So it's a kind of selfish deal, really. But I want you to use that and think about how could you use that? What are your gateway services? What are the hacks that you can take from these? So we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to cover today. And then of course, we're going to be doing some digital marketing teardowns, as they've ended up being called. I think teardowns is quite a brutal word, but I love brutality. So firstly, we're going to think about Black Friday goals and what the different goals that you can go into Black Friday with, because you don't necessarily just want to go in with the mindset that, hey, we're just going to destroy our profit margin and see what happens. So there are different ways that you can look at Black Friday as a more positive thing. We're going to look at what sort of businesses can use Black Friday to generate sales and show some examples there. And we're going to talk about the types of deals that do best on Black Friday as well. Then we're going to talk through Black Friday promo strategies. So I've actually got 8 things for you. So I'm going to rattle through some of them. We're going to go into some of them in a bit more detail. And I'll probably make a follow-up video and a podcast episode about this stuff as well. Then we're going to talk about how to balance discounting with profit, because like I said, we could all have a great Black Friday in volume terms if we just destroy our profit margin, sell everything at 90% discount, and there we go. But is that really what you want to do? Because you don't want to be losing money on Black Friday unless there's a lifetime value trade-off. So we'll talk about how to not destroy yourself on Black Friday. And then we're going to talk about when to start planning and running. I've got some info from our PPC team at Exposure Ninja, who've been looking a lot at how Google is managing particularly ad approvals and things like that, and seeing how backlogged they're getting because of coronavirus. And then of course we're expecting Black Friday on ecom to be massive, 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 because that's the trend, but also low footfall on the high street. So we'll talk about some timescales and things to do to make sure that your ad campaigns get through. Okay, so first up, and by the way, drop comments in the live chat. Really keen to make this interactive. And if you've got any ideas, if you've got any feedback, or if you've got anything that you think, what about if we tried this, then drop them in. I'll keep an eye. And we've got Dale Davies, Super Ninja, on the Exposure Ninja channel as well, who is prowling around as sweeper to answer any questions that you might have. Okie dokie. Right, firstly, let's talk about Black Friday goals. What do you go in with? What's the point of engaging with Black Friday? Particularly if you're a growing business and you don't necessarily, you're not Amazon, you can't just sacrifice, you know, millions on lower margins for that day. Well, there's a few different goals that you might have. First goal is acquire new customers. Obviously, Black Friday is a time when people go to shop, right? You don't just go to Black Friday to just check out deals. You go to Black Friday to buy things. So people have that mindset. Now, depending on where you're at and with your growth targets, you might decide that Black Friday is a great time to acquire lots of new customers, and you might even target a lower margin like break even on Black Friday in order to get those new customers. If we think about businesses that might do particularly well, if we think about anything that has a possible gift angle, so if you're selling something that people typically give as gifts for Christmas and Valentine's Day, you might use Black Friday as a customer acquisition event for you. You might sacrifice your margin completely on that day. You don't necessarily want to go at a loss, but you might sacrifice your margin in order to get lots of customers so that you can go heavy on the gift purchases for Christmas and then also for Valentine's Day as well. So you've got to think about where you're at and what your goals are, but acquiring new customers is a great thing to do. Now, acquiring new customers, obviously, if that's your goal, you're going to have to be doing lots of outside marketing to people who are outsiders. So typically this is going to be running ads. We're also going to talk about an approach that you can take with SEO as well, although we're leaving that very, very close to the wire. Another goal of Black Friday that we've seen is shifting old stock. So if you've got stuff that's lying around and you know you're like, oh, kind of need to get rid of this stuff, well, you can offer that at massive discounts in order to do exactly that. So first example I'm going to show you, let me just transition this bad boy. First example I'm going to show you is from Next last year. So Next last year, oh, here we go. It started. So one of the things that you can do is go to archive.org if you want to check out any businesses' Black Friday deals and what they did last year. Black Friday in November 2019 was on the 29th. So you can go to archive.org, you can type in any website and you can see what they were doing on those days because it takes a snapshot of every site. So great tool to use to go and see what people were doing on Black Friday. And by the way, Next didn't make as much of Black Friday as they typically would, and they had this banner at the top of the site, online and in-store, 70% off all Black Friday event lines, asterisk. Okay, which gives that asterisk tells you a lot about Next's approach to Black Friday, because actually, if you look elsewhere on this homepage, a lot more Christmas real estate than there was given to Black Friday. So yes, Black Friday was a thing and they did play that game. If you go to the page, by the way, it just takes you straight to the clearance page. So it doesn't seem like they were fully into the Black Friday. They're just like, hey, let's call the clearance section Black Friday and tap into some of that. So what we expect they're doing here is shifting old stock. And they haven't really fully committed to Black Friday. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with that. They don't have to. And one of the messages about Black Friday is you are an adult. You can choose what you do with Black Friday. You're not kind of tied into anything. You don't need to feel like just because your competitor's doing it, you need to do it. And even if you do it, then you can totally choose how you do it. So yeah, that's one way of doing it, is just to relabel some stuff that you want to get rid of anyway. We've got a whole bunch of books upstairs, which I've just thought we're probably going to basically give away on Black Friday, because we have all of our exhibitions that they were printed for have been cancelled. So great way to shift that old stock without me having to take it to get pulped. Alan Partridge style. So that's the first thing. You can also re-engage old customers. So it's a great way, it's a great excuse for reaching out to old customers with a bit of an offer to get them re-engaged. So if you've got people on your email list that are like unengaged, but they're still marketable, hey, no harm in just reaching out to them, getting them re-engaged. Again, it's going to increase the chances of you getting through to them in the run up to Christmas for those gift purchases, and then also for, you know, the Christmas sales and that type of thing as well. So you can use Black Friday as a bit of a re-engagement thing and reach out to everyone that you've talked to before with a valid excuse to do that. And then finally, the other thing that you might want to do is build a retargeting list to run Christmas ads for. Okay, so this is a little bit more theoretical, but if you think about what the goal of your campaign might be, of course, when you're driving people to your website, if you're pixeling them with Facebook or a Google Pixel, then you can then be retargeting and remarketing to those people throughout the Christmas period, which is going to be typically much cheaper than it is going out to a new audience during that time. And of course, you might want to build a list as well, build an email list. And having a valuable reason for people to give you their email addresses on Black Friday is really important. We're going to look at some examples of that. And in that case, your discounts are essentially your marketing spend. Okay, so you're discounting your products, but that discount is an investment in getting people onto your site so you can add them to your retargeting list, educate the Facebook pixel, for example, on building a better lookalike audience so that when you do run those promos, you've got a more educated pixel, which is more likely to give you the sort of commercial intent traffic that you're after. Okay. So what sort of businesses can use Black Friday to generate sales? Pretty much anyone. It's a human thing, right? We're talking about humans, and we're talking about basically Black Friday is two things. It's hype and it's decent discounts. So I don't know any human that's immune to either of those. Hype, maybe Charlie, our GM, might be immune to hype. I'm not sure, but those two things are pretty common, pretty standard across all people. So, that's what you're tapping into. If any business sells to that, then maybe your old funeral planners might not be thinking, well, Black Friday's the time to go really hard. But any business that sells to people and it's not necessarily something that they treat as a pure commodity, this is the time for you. Now, the discounts typically have to be meaty. One of the dangers of going into Black Friday kind of half-heartedly is that you think that a 10% or 20% discount is going to like set the world on fire. The stats from Numerator, the average discount on Black Friday is 49.6%. So even if you're thinking, I'm just going to kind of dip my toe in the water this year, give them a cheeky 10%, that's going to get them coming in. What you've got to think about is that the competition for your audience's eyeballs on Black Friday is absolutely massive because they're being hammered all day by emails and social posts and ads from retailers offering massive headline discounts. So there are ways of positioning the discounts, and we're going to look at some examples in just a minute. In fact, let's check out how Amazon does it, because Amazon does some great stuff with Black Friday. In fact, Amazon's probably the go-to Black Friday machine, if you like. So this is their homepage from last Black Friday in 2019. You can see that real estate, I mean, we've got four page scrolls on desktop, all dedicated to Black Friday, so they are not messing around. In fact, what is more than that? So yeah, they are like fully all into Black Friday. So let's see what they're doing. Firstly, headline products are the gateway products to buying more Amazon stuff. Okay, so it's the Echo products. So we can take this, you can take this and apply it to your business. What are the things that people tend to buy first which lead to more business for you? Works just as well for e-commerce as it does for a service business. So do you have something which is like an entry product which is going to lead to more value? Well, you might want to sell that at break even or even slight loss if you know your numbers and you know what your customer lifetime value is. I'm guessing that Amazon probably don't make a huge amount of money on these products as it is, but they know exactly what that customer is worth to them as a result of this additional purchase. So they're happy to make that, and they're happy to play that game. It's how they've crushed the entire book world with the Kindle. That's kind of one strategy. The other thing that they do is, if you look down here, you can see what they do is they categorize their deals in sections. So for example, we've got TVs, we've got smartwatches, we've got vacuums, and then what they do is they'll hide the price for that specific product. So they'll show you like a headline product that they know has a lot of appeal, and then they'll hide that behind this kind of band, this discount or this price band. So you have to click into it, and you have to get browsing in order to even see the deal that you think you're clicking on, which I think is really clever and a nice way of doing it. And actually we see this across a lot of sites that use Black Friday offers, is they'll have a few headline deals, even if they're very, very limited quantity. And the goal of that is that they can have in the headline of the email or whatever up to 70% off. And then they've got, 15 iPhones on 70% off, and the rest of it is much less valuable. So I think about those kind of strategies and how you position this. Now, of course, what we don't want to do is we don't want to be seen as skanking our customers. We don't want to be going in a little bit too low, so low that we're actually not particularly appealing at all. So you do have to have some kind of genuine deals there as well. Okay, let's look at some different Black Friday promo strategies then. So Amazon in particular has been one of the best at doing these countdown deals. I think I first saw Amazon doing countdown deals in probably 2010. And what they would do is have different deals that kind of open throughout the day. And really the goal here is that you don't necessarily want all of your Black Friday traffic coming onto the site at one time and then leaving you for the rest of the day. You kind of want to keep people coming back and engaged throughout the day. And a great way of doing this is to have things like hourly deals. So, you might have them all published ahead of time like Amazon does. So this deal opens in 5 hours, and you can even set a reminder if you want. That's obviously the most kind of tech demanding way to do it. The other way of doing it is not to announce these things ahead of time and just let your audience know through the emails and the social posts that you're going to be releasing new deals every hour. And you might want to show some of the headline deals ahead of time, so that people have to keep coming back each hour to see if those deals are open. Then it also gives you an excuse to send out emails, maybe every hour, every couple of hours to your list saying, hey, this has just gone live, and also coordinate your social posts with those as well. So that can be a great thing to do. Obviously, it's really important to make sure that all your social posts are planned ahead of time. You ideally want to synchronize them up. You can use something like Buffer or the scheduling functionality in Facebook to make sure those posts are going out when the deals are going live, because you might have other things to worry about on Black Friday if you're particularly busy. So you don't necessarily want to be trying to manually schedule everything out to all your social channels. And also your email marketing as well. The other thing about social, obviously, look at the Black Friday hashtags that are trending in your particular space. You're probably not going to get visibility on hashtag Black Friday, but if you can find, for example, vegan Black Friday, and you know that you could probably get some traction there because that suits your business, that might be something to go for as well. A variation of this, of course, is to have different deals going live between Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I think actually in 2018, I believe that revenue generated on Cyber Monday actually was more than Black Friday. So this is no longer a one-day thing. I think this year in particular, we're going to see a lot of brands extending their Black Friday for the whole week beforehand. We get this kind of creep effect, a little bit like we used to with the January sales, which now pretty much go live on the 23rd of December. We're going to get this creep as businesses start trying to get more attention for Black Friday. And one way of getting attention, obviously, is to start the sale earlier. So that's something to be mindful of, and don't be afraid of, starting your deals earlier. There's absolutely no reason not to. And in fact, somebody, I can't remember who it was, somebody actually started their Black Friday. Somebody had a Black Friday in July. Yeah, Forever 21 actually had a Black Friday in July. But here's the thing, it's not tied to a religious festival. Yes, it's supposed to be after Thanksgiving, but who says? So it's not like starting your Christmas sales in September where you're going to get everyone complaining about you. This is about using whatever hacks you have to grow your business. Like, don't be afraid. You're an adult, you're in control here. Okay, next thing is site-wide discounts. So look at how the Body Shop did it. This is probably the easiest way of implementing this. This was the Body Shop in 2019. And now very, very brave, 40% off site-wide. That is huge. Now, obviously, they're direct to consumer at this point, so they've got the margins to play with that. You may or may not have the ability to do that. It depends whether you're selling your own products or selling someone else's. But a site-wide discount, I mean, that is a way to get people filling up on your products. Now, the question I would have is whether that's gonna cannibalize like Christmas run-up sales, and also if you've got people buying in huge volumes, and then it's going to damage your December and January sales as well. So for me, that feels a little bit extreme and actually not particularly necessary. I think you could probably buy more hype with deeper discounts, but on a few products, and also tap into the kind of hype and the scarcity thing, which is when deals start getting sold out, people start buying things that they wouldn't have otherwise bought because they don't want to be left behind. So don't forget that you can tap into that. It doesn't hurt to have some sold out Black Friday deals on your site. Okay, let's talk about gift guides. Now, gift guides are probably the simplest way to run Black Friday promos, and they can give you a great kind of SEO pre-build strategy, if you like. So this is ASOS. ASOS has a static page on their site about Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and they'll just switch this out every year. We see people like Sports Direct do it. So if you just type in, let's just go onto Google and type in Black Friday sportswear, for example. And what we're going to see from this is we're going to see a bunch of sites that are actually, so I think that's just the Meta. Let's have a look. We're going to see a whole bunch of sites here that have static pages, and then they just update them each year with their new deals. So here's the Adidas site. This is the Black Friday category page. So what they've done is they've tagged all their products that are going to be used in the Black Friday promo as Black Friday, and then they just have a Black Friday category page, which is a static page that they get ranked. And I'd imagine they don't even have any text copy on that page. That's interesting. This is Sports Direct, so they've already set up their static page there. The reason I really like the ASOS page is because they've got some kind of placeholder stuff, and they're sending you through to the outlet stuff. They're also giving you the timings of things as well. And then they've got a bit of information about Black Friday, which also doesn't hurt with the ranking as well. So this is a good idea to get set up. Don't make the URL like Black Friday 2020. Just make the URL Black Friday, Cyber Monday, whatever. And then you can update it each year. So it's kind of static and it's ranking. It also means if you get any coverage, if you've got any influencers that are posting about Black Friday, then you're building some links to the static page as well, rather than something that dies every year and has to be built back up again. So good idea to have some copy on this page. Good idea also to list products on this page. So if you can embed product categories on this static page, that's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to just manually kind of write out the products that are going to be offered at a discount, and then link through to those product pages from this page, which would be a content page on your blog. It depends on how your site's set up and which platform you're on, but ideally you'd have some products actually embedded on this page rather than this kind of approach where you're just directing people through to other categories. Okay, this also allows you to start running lead capture. One of the most interesting things I think about Black Friday is that actually if you look at when search volume starts, so we're just looking here at Black Friday deals throughout the world on Google Trends, and look at how the shape of search volume goes. Really throughout November, things start ramping up, and yes, of course, it's massive on the week of Black Friday, but actually even in the run-up, this is an opportunity to start driving traffic, which is why we're going to talk about timings. It's worth setting up these SEO focused content pages, but also start running some Google ads. One of the things that you can begin doing is lead capture and having an email sign up on your site, which allows people to sign up for early access to your Black Friday deals. Great promo to run to your email list as well. Send out a broadcast, get people to opt in for the Black Friday deals so that they know they're getting something secret. It's completely different positioning to, hey, you're on our email list, so we're going to send you our Black Friday deals. Of course you're going to do that, but you probably want to set up some kind of exclusive feeling, early access, early bird list where people can actually re-opt into that. So you might do it a few different ways. You might drive people to your static Black Friday page, which you've set up, and there might be an email capture there that says, sign up to get the latest Black Friday deals 1 hour before everyone else, or something like that. That can be a great thing to do. Then you put them on a separate list and tag them as Black Friday. Or you might just have people click on a link, and when they click on that link, it tags them as a Black Friday insider or whatever, and then you send them the deals. So yeah, don't be afraid to start building up your email list. Remember that getting attention on Black Friday itself is quite difficult. If you can email people or you can text them, obviously that's more desirable than having to go out and run ads to them, because ad costs, CPCs, just go up all through November and December. So you're going to be paying more for that paid attention if you can get like an email list or a text. If you get an email or a text, then that's obviously much better for you. Okay, cool. Capitalizing on frenzy. Let's talk about exclusivity and whatever. So, you know, Walmart, as the people are stamping on their own children's faces to get access to the latest 1500-inch TV for $300. Why are they doing that? Because there's 10 of them, and they can see how many people are queued up to get those 10. So one of the things that you probably want to do on Black Friday is any products that you're running Black Friday promos, particularly if they're steep discounts, is show availability. If you can't show availability on your e-com platform, then have some kind of text which says really limited stock available or last few available, or something that you can add just to build into that hype. Remember, there's two things: heavy discounts and hype. So anything that you're planning with Black Friday, we need to think about how we maximize the hype and how we maximize the perceived discount as well. So things like that would be quite good. You can use, there's a little platform, I don't know if you've seen it on the Exposure Ninja site, little notifications when people buy things also really helps. So usefomo.com is a little platform that we use. There's loads of these types of things. I think usefomo.com, yeah, this is it. And then it's just that little notification that pops up at the bottom of the page like that, to let people know that that people are buying. So anything that you can do to replicate that, you know, they open the gates in Asda and all the people just rush in, and you know, people are dying and all that type of stuff. You want to kind of replicate that just without the death and without the paramedics on standby. Final thing, play with the timing. Like I said earlier, you can start Black Friday early, you can finish it late. There are no rules. You can completely do this your way. You're just capitalizing on the hype. You're capitalizing on the discounts. That's all you're doing. You're not tied into any religion thing or anything like that. Just do what you want to do. Do what's best for you. So I would suggest probably starting things a little bit early. We saw when the interest started, so I'd be starting to promote Black Friday stuff. You know, we see people saying Black Friday month. You might want to have some offers that come through the month, and then on Black Friday itself you get some ridiculous deals. Great way of getting people back onto the site if they've been purchasing already throughout November. So yeah, I'd play with that. Right, and the other thing to think about, we'll talk about ads and timings there. So hopefully this is all making sense. The question of profit margin versus, you know, how much margin do you really want to sacrifice on Black Friday? How big a deal do you want to offer? How big a discount do you want to offer? And where do you find the balance is a really, really important one, because what you don't want to do is cannibalize, particularly in the run up to Christmas. You don't want to cannibalize Christmas sales at a lower margin. You don't want to have your customers building up inventory in their houses so they don't need to buy anything from you, you know, in the most profitable months of the year. So you don't need to just go for discount. There are other ways to do deals. So a few different ways that that you can implement this. Free gift over a certain spend is a great way of doing this. Free gift can be anything, particularly those gateway products that you know lead to bigger purchases or purchases down the line. And by having it over a certain spend, you actually get to maintain your margin by, you know, setting a cap on what people have to spend. So you can actually increase your average order value whilst maintaining your margin and being seen to be very generous. So free gift over a certain spend is a great way. We saw actually Next offered free delivery on their Black Friday stuff as well. Oh, it's gone. Next offered free delivery on Black Friday stuff, which again is a good idea to take as well. Discounts can get better the more people spend. So having bands of discounts. So if you spend over whatever, then you get a particular discount. Obviously with that, your margin is going to decrease as you sell more. But if you're set on a fixed amount of profit that you're going to make from each sale, then you can work out what those bands need to be and how juicy you can really get. Shift old stock by slashing it, just get rid of it, get it out the door, but for a nice headline discount. Great way of doing that. The other thing that we've seen, which is really cool on this sort of side of things, is bundles. And having one really compelling and exciting and interesting product in the bundles, surrounded by a whole load of stuff which is maybe excess stock or it's not as attractive. But when you put that bundle on the site, you maintain the margin on that core product, you offer all the ancillary products, the additional stuff in the bundle at really steep discounts, and then it allows you to give a really big discount on the total bundle. Do you know what I mean? So you've got, let's say you're selling the iPhone 12 Pro Max, right? But you've also got cases and you've got chargers and you've got accessories and all this stuff, which you can offer at a massive discount because it costs nothing, right? So that allows you to give a great headline discount on the whole bundle, even though you've maintained margin on the core product, the one that people are really going to want to buy. We saw Estee Lauder last year offering double loyalty points on their Black Friday purchases. Another great thing to do as a way of increasing the perceived discount on Black Friday without actually damaging your margin, because loyalty points are great. It means that more people are going to sign up to your loyalty card during the checkout because they want to get those points. You've got the bargain hunters on the site. Oh, I've got loyalty points. I need to sign up for the loyalty card. Otherwise, they're absolutely pointless. So yeah, great way of doing it. And of course, once you've got people on the loyalty scheme, it gives you an excuse to market to them, and that their lifetime value is going to be higher as well. We also saw some businesses, I think Everlane was one example, where they actually, rather than give a discount to their customers, depending on their positioning, they actually gave their profit to charity on that day. Another way of doing it completely, but it really sends a message to your audience. And if you know that that message is going to resonate with your audience, that can be a nice thing to do as well. And it also maintains your perceived profit margin, right? People don't just hoover up inventory on your site because they can get it at a discount, and then tomorrow it's not a discount anymore and it feels a little bit weird. You've maintained your margin, you've maintained that kind of price integrity. So that's another way of doing it. Okay, so we've covered a whole bunch of Black Friday stuff. I wanted to give you some advice from the Exposure Ninja PPC team, as obviously they've been they've been watching how things are going with COVID, and Google ad teams as well, which is, it's been a bit messy. A few things that they've said or suggested. Let me just get my notes from them. I don't want to miss any of this. So they've noticed that particularly if you're new to Google Shopping, if you're new to setting up a merchant feed, it's taking a lot longer to get those merchant feeds approved at the moment. As we're expecting this Black Friday to be the biggest for e-commerce ever, you need to get those merchant feeds up and approved ahead of time. So COVID-19 has hammered Google's internal approvals team. If it's taking 5 to 7 days to get those approvals, in November it could take a couple of weeks. What you don't want to be doing is waiting until the start of November to try and get your product showing up in Google. The same when you're running promos, you need to get the promos approved ahead of time as well. So you need to make sure those things are up. But the bigger question here is, whatever type of ad that you're running, whether you're running Facebook and Instagram ads, or you're running Google ads, or you're running display ads, typically it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of budget going through those ads to work out who the right audience is for you and to get those ads running nicely. So we would never expect an ad campaign to be performing massively well in the first month. Usually we notice the CPA drops over time. So if you're going to be running ads for Black Friday, what you don't really want to be doing is running the ads at their least profitable state at the day that you're spending the most budget. Okay, so you want to give your ad campaigns a bit of warm-up time, hence having some offers that you can drive traffic to, and also just driving traffic to your products in general throughout November, so that by the time Black Friday comes, and if you want to accelerate your spend, you're not doing so from a high CPA, only to see your CPA fall in December as you're figuring some stuff out. So just because we're running an agency doesn't mean I'm giving you biased advice, but it works to have someone who's knows this stuff looking at your ad campaigns if you're going to be driving good budget through during this time as well. Okay, what else do we want to talk about? Obviously, CPCs are going to be increasing throughout November and December. You know this is the prime time of the year, but we're not too worried about that, because the reality is the reasons the CPCs are increasing is because people are buying, commercial intent's going up. So there is legitimate reason that CPCs are going up, which is why we are happy to play that game. As long as your site is converting and the traffic is good quality, you should be happy to play that game. All right. Any questions about Black Friday? Drop them in the channel. Otherwise, we are going to start ripping through some websites. So let me just see what we've got. So Dom said, would you then start the deal off lower and build up to Black Friday? Yes, potentially you would do that. If you're going to do that, you may or may not want to announce that. I'd probably announce the deals as they're appearing, rather than having countdown deals that go through the whole month. Because if you have countdown deals, like Sarah says, you're just going to train potential customers to wait for a deal instead of purchasing. So yes, I'd be cautious of that. Okay. Great, let's do some teardowns. I want to look at some SEO today. I saw actually that we've got someone who might be copying this format, which is extremely flattering. And so let's do some SEO analysis today. If you've got a site that you're really frustrated with its ranking, you want to get improvement on that ranking, then drop it in the chat. If you're going to submit your site for some feedback today, remember that you need to put in your site name and then no.com. So if you want to submit exposureninja.com, you wouldn't, but exposureninja.com, okay? Don't put the dot, otherwise YouTube is gonna end you. It's gonna take out the comment from the chat. Whilst you are thinking about whether you are feeling brave today, we're just gonna get up the unlucky dip list of people that have submitted their sites ahead of time. And I'm gonna pick someone. officeyogaco.com from Anuska. Thank you, Anuska. Nice. So if you could get ranked for anything, Anuska, what would you get ranked for? What would be your primary target keyword? Let's get the site up and let's have a look. So we're going to be taking a look from a couple of different perspectives here. Let me just transition. Here we go. So we're going to be looking at conversion rate, of course, because if you're not improving your conversion rate, then driving all the traffic in the world is pointless. But we're also going to be looking at this from an SEO perspective in particular today, because we've got someone copying us and doing it on an SEO perspective. So I like that. Great. Corporate well-being. Okay, step one. I would not necessarily want to rank the site for... Sorry, I've asked you a question and then I've immediately rubbished your answer. Okay, if you want to rank for corporate well-being, that's not a commercial term, that's an informational term, which it's going to be great to rank for, but it's not going to generate much business. So what I'd suggest for corporate well-being, if we're going to target that sort of term, turn your blog or add on to the site a corporate well-being knowledge base. And this corporate well-being is about every topic that you can possibly think about corporate well-being, from sort of environment to, how do you make an office that embodies corporate well-being. You're going to be targeting topics like office layout. You're going to be targeting topics like office benefits, office perks. You're going to be targeting things like optimal work hours and things like that, right? So anything, posture and equipment. So you're going to be writing content about all these different topics, all under the umbrella of corporate well-being. Was it corporate well-being or office well-being? Yes, indeed. So that's going to get you ranking for a phrase like corporate well-being, because typically I'm going to search for corporate well-being now, and we're going to see that it's actually not an informational term at all, but it's a very commercial term. No, I think Google is bailing me out and being consistent there. So we can see some advertisers have, I've got a story to tell you about this. We can see some advertisers advertising for this phrase. Okay. All right. So top result is an informational post. Other than that, I think we might be commercial posts, and I'm just going to work my way through all of that spiel, although it's going to be the best way to rank for these sorts of terms anyway. Right. Okay, the other thing I'm not seeing on this is a featured snippet, so either that means Google doesn't think it's an informational term, or... Right, corporate wellbeing services, corporate wellbeing programs, those obviously have much more commercial intent. Let's have a look at these as well. So the first thing to do when you want to rank for something is get a feel for what else is ranking. Whether advertisers are advertising for these terms, are they business competitors or are they solution competitors? So are they actually offering the same thing as you, or are they selling to solve the same problem as you? So corporate wellbeing programs, we've got scholarly articles, which is interesting, and we've got a featured snippet. So I'll be trying to target this. This looks like it might be a mixture of informational and commercial intent. This is interesting. So whether people are looking for information on how to do it themselves, or whether they're looking for information from people who are providing it. So you can take all of this information. Basically, what I'm going to say to you is content. Content is going to be the thing that's going to help this. So a few different angles. Information about corporate well-being, but also information on related topics that might be searched by someone who doesn't know what corporate well-being is. Who is your target audience in the customer? What is their job role? I'm interested. Is this HR? Is this facilities managers? Like, who is it? And then, yeah, we're going to be targeting people who are searching for this term, but also related terms which show they have a problem, but they don't necessarily know what it's called yet. Okay. Right, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I love this. I mean, this is like a, you know, I know you've worked with Ogilvy, which is awesome. This is a pretty David Ogilvy type. This almost looks like a David Ogilvy ad. It even uses a similar kind of ad, similar kind of font to the old Ogilvy style ads. It tells us exactly what you do, which is cool. Yeah. All right. So thing that I would do here, CTA, some kind of heading, like headline as well. So at the moment, this is all just the same thing. I've kind of got to read through it. I wonder about breaking this text up with a headline and then maybe a paragraph of text and then a few bullet points, and then you can put the headline as the H1 and, you know, use your target keywords there around corporate well-being. We've got corporate well-being there, but if we have it in the, you know, if you have it in your H1, that's obviously going to help. Using variation terms, which is good. Amount of text on this page is all right. Yep. Okay, so it's CSR managers, is it? Really? Okay. All right. So what you can do then is if you've got this knowledge base, you can start linking in to some of these knowledge base articles. So what is corporate well-being? Probably the first post that you're going to write. The ultimate guide to corporate well-being. You're going to make it like a 4,000 word thing. It's going to be absolutely massive with subheadings answering all the possible questions that people would have about corporate well-being, and then linking through to your commercial pages. You probably also want a corporate well-being service page or programs page, even if you're then, it's a bit of a switch where you're actually offering people virtual yoga as part of that corporate well-being. But if that's what people are looking for, that's what you need to be writing about as well. Okay, then we're going to look at some SEO stuff behind the scenes. Okay, CTAs, I don't know what I'm supposed to do as a next step on the site. You're not asking me to do anything at all. So we've got a mobile number, which is okay. To be honest, that kind of limits the... we're in a bit of a no man's land here. You're not selling it as this is Anushka. You're selling it as the Office Yoga Company. So I'm thinking, okay, so you're kind of big, but then we've got a mobile number, which makes you seem kind of small. So I go all in on one or the other there. either get your personality on it, because that's really going to help, or, you know, go for something that feels a little bit larger and might feel a little bit safer to some of these larger corporates. Okay, call to action. What's the thing that you want people to do? That's the next step. Is it book a free consultation? Is it book a trial session? Whatever that thing is, that's the thing that we need to be shouting about across the site. Send us a message is just too broad. And it also opens an email address, so you can't necessarily track the submission. So yeah, I'd have a contact form which says something like, if you're interested in corporate wellbeing or virtual yoga, fill in details here to request a free consultation, something along those lines. That's going to help your conversion rate, which is going to make everything that you do more profitable. Okay, let's have a look at some of your metas then. So first thing, page title here, virtual and on-site workplace well-being. So if we wanted to target corporate well-being, good idea to use that in your page title. You might want to target office yoga, or, you know, something around yoga. I'm not sure, depending on how important that is to you. But if you're going to be targeting that phrase, get it in your page title, because that's really important. Then we've got your meta description, which is the description of the site, or the description of the page that Google shows in the search results. So we really are talking about corporate well-being experiences, which is kind of interesting, because here we're talking about office and corporate well-being. And then when we get onto the page, we're kind of talking about yoga. So I'd be really clear which one you're going into, and probably stick to the same language throughout. Okay, let's have a look and see where the site's ranking at the moment. So I'm just going to open up a tab in the SEMRUSH, and we're going to take a look. Just need to log in. Ping. Oh, having trouble logging in. You should see the gyrations that go on behind the scenes at Exposure Ninja to get so many people using SEMrush. It's unbelievable. Okay. Let's have a look and see where we're ranking here. So we're going to be looking in the UK. I'm guessing the UK is predominantly your target audience, even though you are no longer restricted. Hooray! So very low authority at the moment, not ranking for very much at all. So it looks like definitely increasing the amount of content on the site is going to be important, as is getting some links. Now, the great thing about the space that you're in is it's extremely, extremely on trend. So we've got a lot of expertise and experience in HR blogs and HR content. So building some links and getting some attention for yourself on these types of sites is going to be very important. So what I think about doing, it would be looking at sites like HR Zone, presuming that your audience is going to be reading this type of thing, and looking for, in fact, there we go. Look, why you may need a well-being manager. Okay. So this type of content is proof that you need to be shown here. So who have we got? We've got Natasha Broomfield-Reed, who is the writer of this piece. So we could potentially reach out to her if we think it's going to be a good fit. Oh no, sorry, this is sponsored. Right, fine. Ignore me. What we're usually looking for is we are looking for the writer of these sorts of posts. So, I mean, anything around employee engagement. Right, let's say that we find something that's written by someone from HR Zone, okay? But even so, this means you can pitch them, you can pitch this publication on something which is going to be of interest to their audience. So tips on pitching. What you're not going to do is pitch 5 benefits of corporate yoga, right? Because that's very transparently an ad. What you're going to do if you want to get published is you're going to pitch something along the lines of how to maintain your employees' physical health during remote work, or something like that, right? And of course, one of the tips in that is going to be, hey, you could check out some yoga. And here we talk to Anushka, who runs the office yoga company, and she's got some tips on, so that type of thing. So I'd reach out to these sorts of publications with some ideas for content, because they need to fill this site. You can see it's an ad-driven site. They need to fill this site with stuff, and you can be part of that. That can be you. This could be you. So yeah, definitely take that approach and increase the amount of content on the site, and you should be good. Okay, let's see what else we've got. I hope that's been useful, HR directors. Okay, great. Godwin says, please review Sky Shop Coke. I might just load this off the screen. Let's see what we actually end up with before I drag it on and share it publicly, because one of these days that is going to happen. So I think we're going skyshopcoke.com, are we? Dude, I'm not getting anything for this URL, so let me know. Yeah. Someone's asked, what ideas would you have for a course provider? So I can see your name is WeCoach Crypto. Exactly the same approach as someone who's selling ecom, right? Exactly the same approach. So remember the two elements of Black Friday: sick discounts and hype. So how can you hype up your courses? What you might do is you might say, on Black Friday, join our mailing list, join our Super Black Friday discount list. We're going to be sharing some ridiculous discounts with you an hour before we open them to the public. If you're interested, sign up here. Then on Black Friday, what you might do is open a certain number of course positions, which people, offered at a really good discount. So first thing that's going to do is it's going to get people looking at the courses to see if they actually want to join them. And that's great, because if they don't get one of the, the secret discounted enrollments, then they might buy at full price anyway. So that's the first thing that you want to do, is get their eyeballs on the page. So you could offer a number of discounted enrollments and a specific number, so you can kind of get on that hype. The other thing that you might want to do is like a spin to win thing. So you can get various different plugins where people can, they can spin, or they can enter their email address, or they can do something to get a random thing, and it's going to be a random discount of up to whatever. And you can do it that way. You could also do the bundling thing that we talked about as well. So bundling your courses and offering them at a discount. Of course, there's probably going to be one headline course that people are really going for. So you'd bundle the rest at heavier discount, maintain the margin on the first one, and then you can offer the whole bundle at a discount. So I do exactly the same sort of stuff that we've been talking about today. Just think a bit more creatively. Think about how you can get people hyped about all of this stuff as well. Okay, Godwin said code.ke. Oh, got ya. Okay. Right, I thought you were selling Coke for a minute there. I am extremely pleased to find out that is not the case. So skyshop.co.ke. And I saw we had another site submitted as well. Sorry to everyone who's on the unlucky dip list. I'm not going to get to you today, but it means it just shows you should show up live. Okay. Right. So it looks to me, Godwin, let me know what sort of volume we're doing here, bud. Now there's two possible things here. You've either got lots of brand kind of awareness. I mean, it's essentially a department store online, right? Because we're offering so many different types of product. So you're either doing really well with a department store kind of approach, in which case you just need to increase traffic to it, and we can have a look at product pages and product category pages to increase visibility. Or it's a fairly new site and you're struggling to get any traction because you're spreading your marketing attention so thin. So let me know which of those is going to be true for you. Let's look at some basics to begin with. The fact that we're getting a not secure notification on Safari means there's something up with your SSL certificate, which is kind of important. You've got a live chat, but you've also got the live chat with Messenger, which to be honest is pretty annoying. I would just choose one or the other. I'd test the Messenger one because obviously you can then follow up and you can potentially add them to a Messenger email list. a messenger contact list. So I'd potentially look at removing that one, depending on how things go. What you don't want to do is, as soon as someone lands on the site, they've got to spend the first 5 minutes removing pop-ups. And then we've got to think about your target audience and how focused the message is to them. Because here we're selling everything from homes and kitchens to beauty and personal care. Like I say, if you're John Lewis and you've got the volume, or if you're, you know, Amazon type thing, then that's fine. But if you're just trying to get traction for this, then it could potentially be quite difficult. Let's look at what I expect is going to be some of your highest cost products. Maybe let's go for computers. So the key to a business like this is going to be your product category pages, because these are going to be the pages that you're getting ranked in your region for computers or buy laptops, or, you know, phrases like that. And at the moment, this product category page is not going to do it. Obviously, I haven't looked at rankings, but it's unlikely that this product category page is going to rank for anything competitive, because there's just not enough there to satisfy a shopper for that type of term. So if we think about what the perfect page has to do, and this is another reason against selling a huge volume of different product categories. If we think about what this page has to do, it has to show people enough product options that they're likely to find something for them. Okay, and at the moment, between 4 different laptops with no help at all distinguishing between them, no advice about which ones to choose, this is a real hit and hope. So yeah, I would think about what you're doing with the site in general, and particularly what you're doing with these category pages, because you need to add information on this. What you're going to be competing against is really well established larger players like Amazon that have got a huge amount of user generated content in terms of reviews, and have obviously massive authority, massive link profiles. So if you're competing against that, you need to beat them on usefulness and information and content. The reason you're might struggle to do that across loads of different categories is because you're not going to be able to stock enough inventory across every single category to be genuinely the best option for a visitor. And that's what you want to offer. Because if you can offer the best option for every visitor in the computer category, for example, then you've got a shot of ranking for that. You need to justify ranking. How is Google going to decide to put someone else's site down in ranking in order to bring yours up if it doesn't solve that person's need? So that would be one question I'd have for you. Let's have a look at some other product categories in case this one is an anomaly. Okay, so cookware. I mean, you could categorize this as rice cookers, probably make a bit more sense, because that's, it's going to be a much more relevant page for people that are searching for rice cookers, given that the 2 products on this page are both rice cookers. It's a clearly new site that is struggling with traffic. Yeah, I would focus. I would rethink the entire concept behind this website, because in this situation, it's going to be very difficult to get any traction at all. So I'd rethink the entire thing. I'd probably focus on one product category to begin with, and then you can expand out from there. So I'd focus on something which has decent margins, where the competitors are fairly weak, and where people buy on repeat purchase. So something where there is an ongoing purchase, because that's going to allow you to pay more for your customers, allow you to maybe break even on first sale, knowing that there's some customer lifetime value. So I'd go for that type of thing. So I'd rethink this. It's not. I don't think it's necessarily viable in its current state. So that would be the first thing. Once you've done that, then you can build more content around it. You can build the ultimate destination for people shopping for rice cookers, for example. And you can give them rice recipes. You can tell them, here's how to choose the best cooker. We tested them all. Here are the results. Take that kind of approach. So go really deep on an angle that is going to be really good. And then that's the way to beat very well established sites that sell products already and have been doing for, in some cases, decades. So yeah, that's the way to go for that one. We've got 2 minutes, so I just want to do the last one, aplaceforeverything.co.uk. If the URL is anything to go by, then the same advice could potentially be incoming. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so we possibly got a similar sort of thing here. Well, actually, no, I take that back. We've got storage. We're selling storage. Okay, so let us know how the site is doing and what your top ranking keyword would ideally be. So we are selling storage, which is great. The site looks a little out of date, if I'm perfectly, brutally honest. Let's see how it's looking on mobile. Okay, not dreadful. I'm actually just going to open this. Where's my phone? No idea. There it is. I'm just going to open this on mobile to see how big and how clickable these items are, because these categories, I'm worried that these categories are going to be a little too close. Now, they're pretty much usable on a massive iPhone, but on something a bit smaller, you might struggle. So I'd think about the layout on mobile, maybe going in rows of 2. Then we start talking about content and the amount of content on this page. I don't really know anything about this site. I don't know where you serve. So I can see your UK because that's where the location is in the footer. But unless I get to the footer, I don't actually know that. So I'd have a little bit of intro text, a little bit of setting the scene. And I'd also think about what people are really buying. So my wife loves storage. She loves storage so much that my little niece, for her birthday, I think it may be her 4th or 5th birthday, she got storage. Now I thought this was devastating. As a not particularly storage oriented person, I can think of nothing more boring than getting storage. But I do appreciate that there are people out there that love storage, and people love storage because of the order it creates, right? They love storage because of the order it creates. So I'd think about what sort of images you're showing on the site. Can we have a headline image which really sets the scene and gives people that sense of, oh, this is heaven for me? Can we tap into the storage fiend? I wonder. Right, let's have a look at one of these particular categories. So toys and kids storage. Okay. Oh, we got some text on this page. More about this range, right? Let's put kids storage in that heading there. Okay, so we've got some text copy there. Great. Okay, fine. I mean, I feel like this is seriously old school recommending this in 2020, but still we're finding it's a good way to go. So weirdly having all this like SEO text at the bottom of the page still seems to work. So yep, good that you've got it. Let's have a look at these subcategory pages, toy and kids storage. Okay, then we've gone into a different product listing view, and then we've got some of that as well. Great. So let's get your target keywords here in these headers. Okay, so far that looks sensible. I actually quite like the layout of this page, you know. There's no filter, so we'd normally expect to see a product filter on a category page like this. So it allow people to filter by, you know, color or material or brand or something like that, which I think could really help. But I actually quite like the layout of this page in that you've got bestsellers and then the full range here. So that's kind of cool. Let's go into one of these product pages itself. Really interesting ecom layout. I've not seen this as an ecom layout. So my concern here is that I'm being asked to choose color before I've seen the image. So I question the order of this. I'd also question whether distracting me with bestsellers at the point where I'm considering making a purchase is the right thing to do. You'll see Amazon do this, but not in this order. So they put the bestsellers underneath like this. Yeah, so you may also be interested. Amazon's version of bestsellers is what do people go on to buy, right? What do people buy after viewing this product, however they say it. But they don't put it at the top. They put it further down, and the reason they put it further down is because they only want to show it to people if it looks like that person's not going to go and buy that. Because what you don't want to do, what you're risking doing here, is if I see this, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go for a white one. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, and then I'm like, oh, actually that one looks quite good. And then you've just taken me away, and I'm like, oh, this one's only got 2 reviews. Maybe I'll try that one. And now I'm just kind of in browser mode. So I potentially, in that moment of buying, you know, if you've got a salesman in an office, a salesman or woman in a shop, what you don't want to do is say, hey, what do you think about this product, ma'am? And then they're like, yeah, that looks pretty good. And then you're like, oh, but what about this one? It's like, wait, what? Let's keep them on track. It's hard enough getting people through a checkout already. Let's not try to distract them as they're on the product page. So think about that. Okay. The content for these is reasonable. The question I would have for you is one image, well, it's not really a question. The rhetorical question I would have is one picture of this product going to be enough for someone to buy it? And you know what I'm getting at, it's not. So I don't know if you're drop shipping these. If you're drop shipping these, I would take photos of them. I would get them and I would take photos of them. Potentially add a video as well. Lisa would love some storage as a gift. So there you go. Do some outreach. Yeah, I'd add more images. There's, it's just not going to be enough. I don't know really how this is made. As someone who'd only buy something like this, if I can see it's reasonably sturdy, I've got no idea. It's a total hit and hope here. Yeah, it doesn't feel massively compelling to me at all. So I'd think about the layout, and I'd think about getting an e-commerce layout which is really really compelling, and then I'd focus all the attention on building out the amount of information around each of these products. As for SEO, I wonder if you could turn this site into something of a storage inspo. I wonder if you could even turn this business into storage inspo. On your Instagram page, for example, are we showing amazing examples of storage? Are we showing, the crazy, people love this. Oh yeah, you kind of are. Like, can we go absolutely wild with this? This people love on Instagram that the stairs, where underneath the stairs is all the storage, and people are like, oh, look at how they're storing all the things. Like, can we go for something like that? That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I think this is a cool angle. I like the style here. I think your Instagram looks way better than the website. So I'd make sure that the website is, up to scratch, and I'd consider a new build, to be honest. Looks like loads of potential though. Then, as for marketing, more content on the site, storage tips, storage ideas as information pieces, and then I'd reach out to influencers that show storage tendencies. People on the storage spectrum, I'd go and find some people right at the end and work with them on some collaborations. That'd be the way that I'd do it. Cool. Okay, that's all we've got time for. We actually run over, so thank you everyone for joining us today. Don't forget, if you want some help with your website or your digital marketing, then you can request a free website and marketing review from the fantastic Ninja team here at Exposure Ninja. All you need to do that is go to exposureninja.com. There's a big button that you can click to request your free website and marketing review. One of the team will take a look at your site. They'll give you some recommendations on the things to improve about it, some ways to drive traffic. They'll also have a look at your competitors as well. We'll send this over to you as a video usually within 2 to 3 working days, 15-minute video to your email inbox showing you how to do this stuff. No charge or obligation. It's freaking killer. Don't forget also to check out the Exposure Ninja podcast. You can find it on your podcast app. You know how to find podcasts. If you don't, then open the podcast app on your phone and search for Exposure Ninja and you'll find us. Thank you everyone for joining us. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. And Notts Outlaws in the T20 cricket are 2 games away from an unbeaten qualifying for the T20 finals, which they'd be the first team to progress to finals day or the quarterfinals with unbeaten record. So I'm extremely excited about that. Almost as excited as Lisa is about storage. So thank you everyone, and I look forward to seeing you next week.